Hello, so it's taken me a while, but as I've promised in the comments of the last video, today's video will be about Amulet Haven. This deck, Rodeo's kind of a whiff, but other than that, this deck honestly kind of got pretty strong this expansion, so yeah, we're definitely going to be playing it today. Pretty decent matchup into all the Abyss decks as well, which makes it a appealing deck to play, I guess. So let's look at the deck list we're playing for today first. So this is the list we're playing for today. It is not an original list. It is from a Japanese Haven YouTuber, Sakakibara, whose channel I will link in the description. He plays nothing but Haven, so if you want to check out someone who's very well experienced with the class, he is certainly an option. So this is his list that he played. Honestly, I played around with it too. It's quite a strong list. The archetype as well, other than if you just ignore Rodeo, the new card's actually pretty good. Initia gives you a very solid sort of healing. The Ward Aura is actually very powerful as well. And also she can banish followers, which is quite nice. You can deal with things like Vasaraga or other annoying followers that you might want to banish. And then other than that, the new cards are running Earrings of Sunlight, just great mulligan that also great mulligan card. Also helps you get Element Count destroyed because it costs 1 and you can engage to destroy it for free. It's pretty good. Oh, sorry, that's not a new card. We'll start the new cards first. This is not a new card either. Timepiece of Perfection just helps to deal in the early game. Pretty strong card as well. And then Trident of Eroding Tails. Tides, once again, just helps you deal with early game. Pretty great card as well. Take note that there's 3 copies in the deck. It's just split up like this because I don't have 3 unanimated copies, so it ends up looking kind of gross. Yeah, this is the idea for the list, is just to same as last time with the Lion Dwarf decks, just get enough Amulet Count destroyed so you can play Lion Dwarf, get the depth of the Alt Tome, and then start chipping your opponent down, or just go for an OTK depending on which one is more feasible at the game state. Other than that, he runs 1 copy of World Games. I think the idea is to make sure that your Amulet Revive pool with Candima doesn't get too ruined by random crap, because you really do want to like revive amulets like Scripture of Salvation or the Crystallize for Prostrating Cower and stuff like that. A World Games just isn't very valuable to reanimate since it doesn't do anything and it has 5 countdown, which means that it's sitting on your board for a while if you don't have Lion Dwarf active yet. But it's still strong after you have Lion Dwarf active, because then you can just pop it instantly and use it to draw 2 cards, which is pretty strong. So there's that. Eco helps you deal with early game as well as helps you heal up. The engage to heal 1 actually does add up sometimes, so there's that. But other than that, it's pretty straightforward amulet stuff, I guess. If you're wondering why it took me so long to get to this video, is because this deck is probably the hardest deck to play in the current set in my opinion. So yeah, it took me a long time to get myself to like a level where I'm okay showing the gameplay. I'm definitely still like not good enough, and you're probably going to see quite a few misplays in the gameplay that I'm about to show you, but yeah, just take it as like a showcase of what the deck can do rather than how to play this deck optimally, because I certainly don't have the answer to that. So anyway, let's look at the gameplay I have for you today. So the first match I have for you is against Abyss, and we are going first. The most, I guess, I don't know if it's the most consistent, but the most easy to, I guess, accept mulligan strategy is just the hard mulligan for Scripture, because it is so strong in the Abyss matchup, being able to clear while healing. You can also consider keeping Timepiece for just helping you deal with early aggression, but yeah, the Scripture of Salvation is just very valuable for being able to AoE heal and draw at the same time. So yeah, in this game I just mulliganed for the Scripture. Did not manage to pick it up in the mulligan, but I did manage to top deck it, which is quite nice. Opponent drops Cultivator, which tells us this is going to be either Midrange or Milteo. We don't quite know which one yet. But we're going to just drop Scripture of Salvation. Opponent requires Fickle Necromancer, so this is most likely going to be Midrange. I don't think Milteo plays Fickle, but I'm not entirely sure. Just go ahead and Crystallize Prostrating Coward here. Getting these 2 amulets in the pool is very strong, because that will make your Kandimas much better, so we just get them out. We can afford to take some early game damage here because we have a lot of healing. Yeah, as you can see, we just heal off all the damage we take with a combination of Tico and the Luminous Sensor. Just try to like sort of keep ourselves healthy until we can get to the point where we can play our until our Scripture of Salvation pops, I guess. Well, evolves the Fickle here, which makes sense. We're just gonna go ahead and use Tico and Luminous Sensor again to heal. And this time we put in a World of Games. I figured that by the time I'll probably draw Candima before this World of Games pop, so I figure I'll be able to get these two amulets back off that anyway. Or anyway, just to convert into draw, cause you can see my hand is pretty empty right now. But now I use Heart to the Night Song here to clear my Tico and then just focus on hitting me in the face by evolving their zombie here, which is a relatively weak turn honestly from them, so we don't mind too much. Pick up Candima here, which is great. That's what we wanted. And we pick up the Trident as well, which is very nice. We go ahead and use the Trident to destroy the zombie. Then we use the Axe to get rid of the skeleton as well, and then we draw Unholy Water here. We don't play the Wing Statue quite yet. We focus on this Engage instead to make sure we can answer their boards properly as it comes. Wing Statue, we're generally gonna save it for our finishing anyway, so there's no rush to get it out. We're probably gonna be fine on Amulet count as well with Candima in hand, so yeah, we can just sort of hold on to this for later and focus on using this to answer board instead. And we save our Evo points as well, just because they might be useful later. Pretty weak turn from my opponent here with the Fickle Necromancer. It really didn't matter if they it wouldn't have mattered too much if they had Adahime here with Candima. I would have easily cleared the board anyway, so yeah, I guess that's fine. We're gonna go ahead and use Candima here. We're guaranteed both of these amulets because we haven't destroyed any others yet. So we'll go ahead and drop the scripture here to AoE as well as heal. And then we just drop Earrings of Sunlight. We don't need the extra Lion Top, so we just go ahead and toss it. Get another amulet on board here. And we go ahead and toss the Wing Statue back again because we probably don't want to use it until our lethal turn, so we are safe for now. And we just drop Scripture here just to get it on board to deal with my opponent's board. Someone goes for Odin here and it hits me in the face. This turn I would say I definitely misplayed. You look at my opponent's... If you look at the way my opponent played turn 6, plus the fact they have 14 shadows, there is like a 99% chance that Macmillan is coming down next turn. Otherwise, there's no way they wouldn't have a turn 6 play, so it's most likely that they have Macmillan in hand. So, yeah, I think the correct play would have been this, and I want to land Lion Top next turn, right? And we know Macmillan has a very wide board of zombies with also Last Words involved. So I think the safest play would have been to keep Scripture of Salvation for my Lion Top turn, but for some reason I did not. And instead I used it to pop the Scripture of Salvation here. Probably should have popped Prostrating Cower and then just put around a bunch of amulets on the board with stuff like Earrings and a Timepiece. Would have been probably better here, but I guess I didn't do that this time. Drop the Timepiece here as well. So as we expected, out comes Macmillan. Take a bunch of damage here. My opponent clears my board. I'm gonna go ahead and use Lion Top here to clear the Macmillan board. We have enough amulets destroyed, so we don't have to destroy any, so we can keep this on board for a Lion Top spell later. And we just pop this zombie to save ourselves 1 health. And then goes for a second Macmillan here, which is pretty scary. Get a bunch of damage here once again, but thankfully we have already gotten down our most difficult turn by playing Lion Top, so now we can start to try to stabilize with stuff like Initia in hand to heal a bunch. Get a bunch of damage here, go very low. And you see we managed to get a Scripture of Salvation from our Tome. Pretty high chance of that considering we've destroyed a lot of copies of it. It's our most destroyed amulet right now, so yeah, it's pretty safe to get one of those two. And we did manage to get it, so we're gonna go ahead and use Initia here to heal up, as well as just present a threat on board for them to have to answer. Right now they don't have enough shadows to play Macmillan, so very likely we can get them to spend their last Evo point with this Initia, which is great because it'll reduce their reach. Go ahead and pop Scripture here to clear their board and heal up, and then we pop the Prostrating Cower as well to make sure we are healthy as well as protected with the war, and then we drop Wing Statue to look for future lethals. That's my opponent's Adahime. We'll play the skeleton and trade it here, trade their Raz as well, and they'll drop 2 ghosts. And they'll super evolve the other Hime, so this is their last super evo. And they will use it to trade into our Initia, and then they'll trade as well and poke us in the face for a bunch of damage here. We just need to make sure we heal. Well, we don't have lethal this time, unfortunately, if you count the damage we have on board here. This is 3 PP for 8 damage. We need 6 more damage with 7 PP, which we don't have the means to do in our hand unless we get lucky with Earrings of Sunlight. Honestly, I could have just played Earrings of Sunlight maybe and just try to draw a lethal. If I drew a 1-cost amulet off of this, I would have had lethal, I think. But I decided to play more safe here and just focus on healing out of range of Macmillan plus Ghost, because we know they have a Ghost in hand. We go ahead and draw into our deck here and use a bunch of X to get Tico's healing off. Got another Initia, we can use that to heal at some point, but not quite yet. We go ahead and toss her for some reason. Drop Scripture as well, and then drop Prostrating Cower, and we pop the Prostrating Cower here to have a ward to protect us while also getting some healing off. And then we pop the Timepiece as well. This 1 damage isn't gonna make much of a difference with Timepiece and Scriptural Salvation on board, so pop it for 1 health instead. Opponent plays their last Macmillan, I believe. And there's the Ghost as well, but thanks to our healing, we are out of lethal range here. And they will clear our Tico and then poke us in the face here, but with 6 damage on board, plus a bunch of amulets in hand, we very safely have lethal here, so. And pop Scripture here, clears their wards. We had even more reach here with Sublime Out Tome, but since we didn't need it, in case they like drained with a bat or something, but we didn't end up needing it. The most damaging option would have been to play Sublime Out Tome on Wing Statue here, and then play Unholy Water, and then we can pop Sublime Out Tome, Holy Water plus whatever we get out of Sublime Out Tome's last words for 4 extra damage this turn, but didn't really need it. So yeah, we just go ahead and pop the Wing Statue here, and that's lethal. So that's it for this game. Let's move on to the next one. Our next game here is against Abyss once again. This is just the times we live in, you're gonna have to get used to it. There is a lot of Abyss right now, but thankfully they are different archetypes at least, so there is some variety here. So again, Scriptural Salvation is great. Once you have Scripture, I think it's fine to keep Sublime, especially if you're going second. You can just coin Sublime to help Scripture, get it into the revive pool, and then start playing more amulets that way, so yeah, we do keep that. My opponent passes turn 1 here, which either means they didn't draw a perfect hand or they are playing evil. Use Earring here, go ahead and just try to draw into our deck for better amulets. Opponent passes turn 2 as well. This pretty much confirms that this is going to be evil. I don't think it's possible for Midrange and Milteo to pass turn 2 as well unless they break really badly, but in this case my opponent just drops Fickle here, which is fine. Go ahead and coin Sublime Out Tome here, clear the board as well as draw us further into our deck so that we can find better cards, I guess. And we draw Prostrating Cower as well. Again, we're trying to set up for Kandima's Fanfare. The ideal setup is just these 2 amulets with Scripture and Prostrating Cower. One drops Raw Bibati without enough shadows, which is pretty funny. Gives us a bit more leeway to work with. We do end up dropping Trident of Eroding Tides though, so yeah. We'll be able to clear the Bibati even if it evolved, I guess. Opponent drops Grand Jita here as well. They will use to draw more cards. We're just going to use the Trident to get rid of that. And we have some time to set up here. We'll just drop a bunch of amulets onto the board. Just go ahead and act this Unholy Water to get it to pop a bit faster. Opponent's gonna line out some followers here with the Lyria and the Lulumi as well. Pretty weak early game from them, which is quite good for me. We go ahead and get rid of their Lyria here, and we just drop more amulets onto the board. And opponent finally drops Freddy out here, so I guess they finally are starting to get their evo going. And here they evolve Fedia, which basically tells me that they have better user bug in hand already, because otherwise that evo makes no sense, so yeah. We missed the 50-50, although it doesn't really matter, honestly. We just use Trident here. And we draw a second trident as well. At this point, we do have enough amulets to get Lion off next turn, so we just clear their followers, and then we just save Kandima for after Lion is active to start recovering some resources, I guess. I think goes wide here with Raz plus a bunch of bats, which is an interesting choice. They didn't evolve here either, which I'm not sure why, but you know, I guess it's their choice to make. We're gonna drop Lion here. We pop the scripture because it's not gonna be much use next turn. Well, unless they go Macmillan, but we're probably fine. I mean, we have Kandima, we can clear basically any board. There's Adahime. They're gonna super evolve their Adahime here. We take a bunch of that. Well, not a bunch of damage here. They pass a game. I'm not sure what's going on in their hand at this point because they have a lot of cards right now and they're not playing any of them. So here we pop the statue Amulet first before playing Kandima to make sure, or to not make sure, but to have a small chance at least of trying to get the Holy Falcon Amulet off Kandima's fanfare to help push more damage, but unfortunately it didn't work out. So we'll go ahead and use Timepiece as well as Scripture to clear their followers here. Then we drop Earrings to just draw into our deck to find more useful pieces. Got Prostrating Cover as well, we get that on board. We regular evolve Kandima here to get rid of the Adahime, and then we poke them. The reason why we're doing this is to minimize trade targets for Drain. Evo Bats has a lot of Drain in it, so by limiting our Holy Falcon here, we at most they can heal off 3 with an Evolved Bat, or like Super Evolved Bat with heal 4, I guess. So they do evolve the Bat here to allow them to heal, and then they will drop their Belial here, which I believe is active now. Yeah, they do get the crest here, so we are there, I guess. At this point though, they are so slow, we're completely fine. I think if they were a bit faster, even when the Belial is like a bit faster, as long as it's not like Omega High Roll like turn 7 or 8, honestly I think you can outrace them with just pure damage, so it's not that bad. One of the weaknesses of Evo Abyss is that a lot of lists don't run Ginsetsu and Yuzuki, so almost all their healing is reliant on Drain. And we have a lot of ways to deal damage without having to rely on Drain, so I would say that we can usually outrace them unless they manage to super evolve Belial twice. Or like get a super high roll somewhere along the way. But yeah, otherwise yeah, usually fine. Although this phase in particular, my opponent were pretty slow as well, so that didn't help them either. So once again, we drop Kandima here. We're gonna evolve Kandima and trade here to make sure that we leave our board empty to deny them Drain. And then we just set out a bunch of amulets for next turn to kill them with. You obviously save Wing Statue here because you want to use it on your finishing turn so you don't let them drain off the Falcon. One drops Macmillan here to protect their face, and then they will play the Ghost as well, but with 5 amulets on board and 1 amulet in hand plus Super Evolve remaining, we very easily have lethal here. Pick up Timepiece, which just helps expedite the lethal a little bit more, so we just go with Timepiece here. We go ahead and pop that to get rid of their wards. We can just use Depths to pop the Falcon. Again, we had lethal even without top decking the Timepiece there, so yeah, we're completely fine here. We could just use Depths to just chip some damage here. And then we can super evolve the Falcon and hit them in the face for lethal. So yeah, that's it for this game. So our last game here is against Sword. Once again, we try to find our scripture here. I kept Timepiece because Sword goes wide early, and if I don't keep a card to deal with it, I'll probably die. So yeah, I just kept Timepiece here for that reason. Use Earrings here, try to draw into our deck, try to find the Scripture of Salvation. Unfortunately, we don't quite pick it up yet. Oh, we'll keep trying. One drops Lyra here, which is fine. Just gonna go ahead and keep trying to find Scripture here. Toss this Initial back because we won't need it for a while, but unfortunately we pick it back up. We just draw Unholy Water here. We're probably saving Timepiece for the Enhance ability. Opponent plays the High Strung Liaison here, which is not common and honestly pretty annoying because its 3 defense allows it to survive Timepiece. So I decided to take it slow here. We go for the Luminous Sensor. Honestly, Might have been fine to just coin Timepiece or coin Sublime Eltome and pop the Unholy Water or something just to get a bit more tempo here. Or rather just to reduce the amount of followers on my opponent's board a bit more. My opponent will drop another Liaison here. We take a bunch of damage, which is not great. Unfortunately, still no Sublime, still no Salvation. We'll just try to reduce the damage coming to our face as much as we can. My opponent has Nail Claw as well, which allows them to buff the Strong Liaison, which they are going to now evolve and hit us in the face for a ton of damage, which is not great for us, especially since we haven't found Scripture yet. So there is an interesting idea here. What I did was I played Wing Statue here and I used Sublime Eltone to pop it. And then pop the Lancer as well to heal, and then I evolve Holy Falcon to trade as well. There is an option of playing Sublime Eltome plus Holy Falcon, and then just waiting to play Initia next turn on turn by coining Initia to heal back up. That is an option as well, but I mean, I think I probably die if I do that. Actually, never mind, that wasn't an option. Yeah, they would have left like 11 damage on board. I would have died. Never mind, take it back. That's not an option. Opponent is gonna drop the Sharp Ear Operative here, and then they're gonna evolve Nail Claw and just punch me in the face for more damage, which is not great for me. Thankfully, I managed to find Scriptural Salvation here, which we're gonna go ahead and use. Pop it with Sublime Eltome as well to AoE their board. And we managed to pick up Tico, which is very fortunate because we can use Tico. And we coin Scripture as well so that we can play Initia next turn. And just go ahead and use Tico to clear that board here. If they're running Zeta Bay, we just die here, unfortunately, but you know, that's the risk we have to take, so yeah. Or if they're playing a Quick Blader plus Guild Elite, we also die here, but well, sometimes you just can't help it, right? In this case though, they just dropped Caesar, which is fine. They're gonna Super Evolve and clear my Tico here, which is fine, I guess. We're just gonna go with our usual plan and go Initia. Initia is quite good against Sword because they don't have good ways to clear this. Because Caesar's Super Evolve can't target it because it has Aura, so it's a pretty good answer to a Caesar. And it heals out a bunch as well, so we can try to stabilize from taking so much damage early on. Don't trust another Caesar. Unfortunately for them though, they can't clear Initia here because they don't have enough stats to do so, and she has a lot of health, so they do just pass here, which is fine. We use Initia to get rid of the Caesar here, and then we just try to get rid of their followers, use Sensor to heal as well. And we pop the Unholy Water so that we can make sure we can clear that board next turn, I guess. Just having the answer there to weaken that board so we can get rid of the left Lion Tough. That is the idea. Opponent will use Gildara here and then drop what is this? Intrepid News Hound, which you don't really see every day, I guess. So we go ahead, our Amulet pops. Thankfully we hit one of these three. As long as we hit one of these three, we can clear this board without having to spend our Evo point, which is very good for us. So go ahead and get rid of the two bigger followers, and then we can have Scripture get rid of the last one. Worst case scenario, we just Super Evolve Lion Tough instead. They're out of Evo points anyway, so it's like a good chance they have trouble clearing Lion Tough very well. In this case, they have Gildara, which isn't great for me. They are rarely 20, so we do take a bunch of damage here. A Sharp Ear Operative as well. They will use trade and trade and trade and just answer my Lion Tough, I guess. And Serenity Shield to top it off, so we take a bunch of damage here. Go pretty low. So we definitely want to make our priority for this turn healing up. From Kandima here to hopefully get some of the healing amulets. We do get the Scripture, which is good for us. But Evo Kandima here, I'm not sure if this was the correct play, but it's the one I went with anyway, so yeah, we do manage to take out Luminous Sensor here, which is very good. Use that to heal. Grab Prostrating Coward as well and just pop that to heal some more. This also sets out a pretty threatening board after they spend a lot of their resources already with their Gildarias. And then no more Evo points as well. Most people aren't running Golden Knight either, so they should have some trouble getting rid of this Kandima. And we have an Unholy Water to pop whatever they play next turn, depending on what it is. My opponent hasn't they managed to find it out, I guess I'll just end up conceding here. So that's it for this game. So those are all the games I have for you today. Hopefully it gave you some idea of how this deck works. You can see how it has a lot of board clear, it has a lot of access to board clear scripture and then summoning out with Kandima as well as amulets like Trident. And then you have a pretty difficult to avoid late game finisher with Depths of the Outtome as well. So yeah, you can see how this deck is well positioned against the board based decks that Abyss likes to run right now. Even against Evo, even though Belial is like sort of the end of the game clock, you can sort of outrace it as long as they are not too high roll, as long as your opponent doesn't high roll too hard. So yeah, you see Amulet is placed fairly well in meta. Unfortunately, it's pretty bad into Egg, and Egg is like a bit popular right now, so you might have to watch out for that. So yeah, otherwise yeah, you can see even with my shoddy playing, it can still do pretty well. I managed to maintain Diamond while trying to record games. And I went on a small 5-game win streak as well, so yeah, pretty solid deck. So yeah, if you are a Haven fan, I would say that this deck will probably play well enough for you that it's worth crafting. But yeah, that's it for today. See you next time. Bye bye.